Michigan doing the unthinkable.
Huge potential here.
He gets one, he gets two.
That is beautiful, beautiful front to back right there.
Up 3-1 Eastern. Looking good, feeling good. Life is good. Welcome back, EMU Overwatch. It's time for more Overwatch, an unscheduled stream. We got our game rescheduled from yesterday to today, and Rocket League canceled. So now, you know what? You came for Rocket League, but you're getting more Winston. More Winston. That's what you're here for. But unfortunately, Ben can't be here. I'm all alone. Or am I? You know him. He's back again.
Oh, what up?
The one and only Asteroid. This stream is going to get silly, guys. You all know Asteroid. Asteroid was the former tank for EMU JV last year. He's since graduated. I dug him out of the working world and said, hey, remember Overwatch? You remember Winston? You love Winston. You love Winston so much.
I like better, though.
We're all about Winston on this stream.
Yeah, whatever,
We're all about
whatever,
Winston.
pal. Okay.
Winston. But it's going to be a great game. Asteroid is going to do great at casting. I'm sure he's going to say everything perfectly. We're not going to have any mixed up words. We're going to have all of the Genjis, none of the Genjis. What if you had all the Genjis,
but no Genjis?
Unlimited Genjis, but no Genjis. But today we are against Akron, Ohio, and we've got some other interesting things about this stream. But let's take a look at our schedule first. So today, rescheduled, was supposed to be yesterday. Very last minute rescheduled to today against Akron, Ohio, in Overwatch. And then tomorrow we are against Buffalo University, same time, same place on this Twitch channel here. And then I know we got to take a break from Overwatch at some point. Let Rocket League get back on the stream. It's going to be on October 6th against Ohio. And then Jaden, there's no more Overwatch on this schedule. What are you doing to me? And it's going to be, you know what? Love to my Rocket League team. Love them, but they're just not Overwatch. But October 8th, Rocket League. October 8th again. They've got a doubleheader against Miami, Ohio, and Akron.
Back to back.
And then after all of that after all of that Rocket League, you got to come back for more Overwatch.
There's got to be.
That's what you're here for. But let's take a look at our standings in our current tournament. We can see we've got Ball State 6-0 on top, Kent State 6-1 in second, Ohio University 4-1 on third, followed up by Bowling Green and Northern Illinois, both 4-2, Miami 3-2, Akron 2-3, Central Michigan 2-5, and then Buffalo 1-5 with us and Western Michigan 0-5 and 0-6 down at the bottom. But you know what? That's changing.
It's going to change today.
It's been a little bit of a rough season, but the progress that we have made as a team has been tremendous.
Yeah.
And we actually have a fresh face. We have a fresh face on the team. So we actually have a new friend, Pringle, who you cannot see behind Rage right now. What a camera angle. You just have to trust that Pringle is, in fact, between Nyx and Rage there. No face reveal for today, apparently. But they are going to be filling in the role of hit scan for Aurora. Love you, Aurora. Thank you so much for playing with us for so long. Aurora is going to be taking a sub position for now, and Pringle is going to be taken on that hit scan spot. So maybe a little bit of new blood, some fresh faces, shaking up the team a little bit. We're going to see what's going on. I have heard from the team that practice has been going really well. I know everybody on the team is putting their all into it, really trying to improve. There's been a lot of improvement. They're looking real. They're looking real. You know, it took a while for us to kind of find our feet, but you know what? I think we found it.
Yeah.
I think we finally found it. So we are. I don't think much has changed since in the state of the game since the last time we streamed. But Asteroid, as somebody who has unfortunately been had to succumb to the working world, who does not have as much time to put into the grand old game of Overwatch, what's your current take on the meta? You were in Pugs with us last night.
Yeah, I will say Hog is currently doing in a really good place, and I hate to say it, but
he's not in a good place. He's in way too
he's in
good
an
of a
amazing
place.
He's got
himself.
he's got his one shot back, and it's not looking good. So if we do have we are able to get some people out of this.
Yes, we do have bans. Both teams
yep.
have one ban.
Okay.
I think we're probably not going to see Hog bans because Hog, I think even now when he's at basically his Season 2 reverted back to Season 2 where he's super strong, he doesn't actually crack a 50% win rate.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually still not great, but he's incredibly frustrating to play against.
Gotcha.
In our coordinated matches like this, you pick the Ana, you play around him. He struggles to find value in coordinated play, but on ladder, oh my god, he's a permaban. My bans right now are Hog, Tracer, Ball.
Hog, Tracer. Really? Why Tracer?
Because Tracer is also broken. Tracer, I want to say, did her old flip-flop back from 5.5 damage to 6 damage.
Oh, they boosted back up?
I'm pretty sure she got boosted, or she got buffed in some way. I think I've seen that her perks are also played really well in Dirkit. I'm not really a Tracer player, so I don't remember what her perks are exactly. But just that annoying little mosquito just in your backline all the time. Very frustrating. It's and you gotta. It's so much to play around. You have to sacrifice things to be able to deal with her, and then just annoying. So I don't want to deal with just the crap right now.
Yeah, that's understandable.
My boy Ramatra, still so sad.
Still not doing the greatest right now. Completely
just unplayable. He's unplayable. If I see a enemy Ramatra come out on the ranked ladder right now, I'm just like, oh, I just win this game, and it's
quite depressing.
Yeah, it's really sad. But we as an Overwatch community had some pugs last night, and I'm sure some of our viewers were members of those pugs. That was a grand old time. I think it
was quite evenly matched, and I was actually quite surprised by that.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good. We had some of our former varsity members, former JV players, current varsity players, all sorts of our community really just showing up and hanging out. Always a grand time. Pugs are really just an elaborate. You guys know Quidditch. You know Quidditch, right? From Harry Potter, where the whole game is happening. They're scoring points and everything, but the only thing that matters is whoever catches the snitch.
Exactly, yeah.
What we found in Pugs last night is whoever wins the Lucio duel happening on third point is really who wins. And I am proud to report that Vinny, my goat, diffed that evil Jake guy on Shambali Monastery. So really, who won Pugs?
You're putting Jake down. Listen, Jake is a phenomenal Lucio still.
He really is.
Against, I believe that Vinny just has a bit more experience on the character.
Vinny did scrim JV Lucio for a while when I was coaching. You know what? I might say I think this is kind of a cold take. I think Vinny is probably a better mechanical player, and Jake is probably a better main support overall.
Oh, I can agree with you on that.
Because Jake, let's see here. When he does his ult tracking, my favorite.
Oh.
It's anytime he has to ult track. Okay, Jake, what ults do they have? Let's see here. They used Jake. You just say what ults they have. You don't need to get off the couch like an old man.
Hey, those 20s and getting into the working world, man, it does something to you.
Jake is also a member of the Overwatch Esports 2 working pipeline community, and it's so sad because now it'll be like 5 o'clock. You turn from Jacob the engineer to
PB and Jake
the frog. But always fun to get everybody to sweat an appropriate amount, right? I was putting up some numbers on the old Venture character on Servasa. Rose got to relive some of her tank glory days.
She did. She was running it down on what was it, Malga?
Yeah. Oh, Malga, very funny character, but very fun to just be like, you see that Vinny guy on the Ana? Let's go get him.
That's so.
I don't
so
care about
mean.
the point.
Just so
It's-
mean.
I believe the phrase that was used was fan behavior.
Oh, yep, I remember that.
And you know what? I'll admit it live on stream. I'm a Vinny fan. Big Vinny fan. But anyway, the video game.
Yes.
What are we doing in this game tonight? Have you been able to catch any of our streams so far?
Unfortunately, I have not. No.
You haven't. So you're going into this a little bit new.
I am.
So let's do a quick recap of kind of what our general strategy has been, what we're kind of leaning on this season, and what our kind of general macro that Suji has us doing is.
All right.
A lot of our kind of our core that we're building the team comp around is the Otzel and Rage Reaper Zarya.
Okay.
Reaper
That's a
Zarya,
good one.
classic combo, especially in Overwatch 2. Your Reaper TP's in, you get bubbled, you get some value, you Wraith out, and you just keep doing those bubble cycles, right? That's our bread and butter right now. TPing on, tank, make him turn around, give up space. TP on a backline squishy that we can just assassinate. If there's like a Zenyatta against any sort of shotgun is just going to explode.
Oh, 100%.
And if you have a Reaper with a bubble coming at you, you're just dead. You're just dead. You die once and you switch off the character. And then we have our Kiri Lu on the back line.
Okay.
Just classic strong back line, high mobility, a lot of damage coming out of it. And then I believe this is going to be Pringle's first match on both on stream and as a DPS. And as
DPS, right?
Rage is our flex DPS on Reaper. Pringle is going to be our hit scan.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe we're going to see mostly Cassidy out of them tonight. But we'll see. They've been known to cook before. We'll see if we need to do any sort of comfort swaps, any sort of countering. But Cass is just a great character overall. A lot of usually the character that you switch to be able to counter people.
Oh, I definitely agree with you. I also would say that the changes that Cass have gotten recently, especially holding down that right click and being able to get off that bigger damage, I think works a lot in his kit.
I've seen people use it, but I've been kind of I'm not really a hit scan player. I can play it, but I'm not a hit scan player, right? I have tank aim, as I need Zarya aim training. We're just now, remember guys, we are on a 3-minute delay, so I'm seeing the chat as it's rolling in now. Sorry, Holden.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, we're saying slurs on chat, the J word. But Cassidy's new perk, it's kind of like an Ashe right click, right? Where you kind of like zoom in, you get big damage for one bullet. And so it takes him more from the the old Mick right click, where you just spam into the tank and hope that they die. To a much more precision, like I'm gonna pick somebody out in the back line, which adds a lot of flexibility to his kit. Like I do like that option. Now, is it too much flexibility? I've seen him get some decent picks with it. I'm seeing Jake and Vinny argue in the Twitch chat, and it's very funny to me. The beef is back on. But that Ico with his other perk, which if you get headshots, reduces cooldown on his roll. I like having that additional escape, that the ability to just the mobility. To be able to get in, get out. It's probably not the better perk, and I probably should just start running the other one. But I really like what they're doing with perks.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic so far. I will say, this past season was the first season they switched out the perks.
I want to say yes. I want to say that this season... God, this season went by really fast.
It did.
Season ends in just under 2 weeks, and then we get the Halloween season.
Hey, there we
Love
go.
me some Halloween. But the perk system. I'm going to be interested to see what they do with it going forward, because we're getting close to. I want to say close to a year, but I don't think so. It was earlier this year that the perk season came. That the perk
the perks
system
came out. Yep, perk
came
system.
out, and I believe it was during your guys' season, during the JV season that we went all the way.
Yeah.
Which was really threw us for a loop of just like an entire the perk system came out in the middle of our tournament. But I really like what they've done with it and how they're using it to balance characters. I can very easily see the perk system being a way that they can keep interest in the game without having to constantly add new maps and new characters, because it's a way that they can rotate content, which keeps things fresh and interesting.
Yeah, it keeps things flowing.
Because the problem with adding new map, new character is that once they're in the game, they're in the game. You're not going to just get rid of a character. You're not going to just, I mean, they've done it before, but they shouldn't just get rid of a map. Once it's there for better or worse. With the perks, I can really see them like the 2026 competitive season. I wouldn't be surprised to see them just completely shake up the perks and see like entirely new abilities come out of it. You know, they remove the ones that don't feel good or are just maybe getting stale, the ones that feel unbalanced, and a lot of the time you see balance changes that are like, oh, we're going to just increase damage here, reduce the cooldown here. Got kind of like just not really a lot fundamentally changes. You don't see very often an entire ability get, changed how it fundamentally works without like a kind of major rework of the character. But like on a self nano, that was something that was a complete like change and rework of how that ultimate works. And it was here and then it was gone. Right? I
think that was because it was just so broken, was it not?
It was definitely a super broken one. It was a very strong one that was just like kind of a clear favorite of the community, which I think they try to avoid generally. But imagine if like Kiriko came out and Suzu is obviously everybody complaining about it and broken. It's a lot easier to use a perk to change kind of how it works rather than completely change the underlying kit. Like the underlying kits should be balanced, should be mostly balanced, but then it's like a cake, right? You can have a good cake, good character at the base of it, and then the perks just make them better. And you can take
the perks are the toppings.
Of course, you can take like vanilla ice cream. You can take your Cassidy, who's basically just mic right click point and shoot, not super interesting all the time, very kind of just plain basic. And you can take the perks and put like some fudge on him and some sprinkles and be like, yes, this is fundamentally different than he was before, more interesting. And then you can be like, you know what, the fudge is too OP, so we're going to switch it out for caramel. You're still having vanilla ice cream, you're still playing Cassidy, but it's a more, I think, palatable way for people to interact with the characters and have their kit expanded in a way and changed in a way that's doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, it doesn't completely change the character itself.
Yeah. So like when Hog, let's take Hog for example.
Oh boy.
Hog just got his slight unreworking, right? Where he had trap. They gave him trap and then they took it away. And doing that to the base kit feels kind of weird, right?
Oh, it definitely did.
Same with like when Cass's nade got reworked like 8 different times or whatever it was.
Too many times to count at this point.
When Briggs shield bash lost its stun. Imagine if all of those had been perks. It feels, because it's not a core part of that character, it's something that the character can roll with And you could have always picked the other perk and not used that. I guess by disconnecting it from their core utility and their core kind of gameplay, it hurts less when they take it away. So like the double, I haven't seen any Ana mains complaining about losing double nano.
I haven't seen I mean, in general, over just all of the internet, I haven't seen any complaints.
Yeah, I mean, complaining about losing double nano is kind of like being like, oh no, my free unlimited credit card, I lost it. Like, okay, buddy, you had a free unlimited credit card. Stop complaining. It's unfair to the rest of us.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the perk system. Both, it feels good to play with, and I really like it from a gameplay design standpoint, where they have additional levers and buttons to tune and twist and everything to make a character feel good. It's a really cool, interesting part of the gameplay loop. And what's fascinating to me, and I want your opinion on this.
Yeah.
Aaron Keller has gone on record and said that past updates have been too conservative, which when they released Stadium, the perk system, map bans, all of this, like right after each other, that's too conservative? What are they doing? What are they cooking? What they said that, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of, we want to start the competitive season of 2026 with something that is going to blow people's minds. What are they cooking? What are they cooking?
Jeez, that could be anything. I mean, they could be completely
They're
reworking
making
some
Roadhog
characters.
real.
Okay. I mean, they could be completely changing some characters right now. They could be thinking about how to completely rework, some supports, some DPS, maybe a tanker once in a while. So we'll show.
Do you know who I wouldn't mind seeing getting that kind of treatment?
Mercy?
Well, yeah. The Overwatch 1 off tanks, our D.Va, our Roadhog, our Zarya, I wouldn't mind seeing those characters kind of get reworked and being more disconnected from their original identity. Because their original identity was to be an off tank. And that off tank
I agree with you 100% on that.
doesn't exist anymore. And playing Overwatch Classic or 6v6, you can feel that is their identity. And now they're just a little disconnected nowadays. And you know I can keep yapping. You know I can keep yapping. Jaden knows I can keep yapping. But we are going to need to go into Ilios here. We are banning Winston. They are banning Reaper, which is going to be interesting.
It will be interesting.
Because we're probably going to need to swap to... Usually we pick up Genji to...
Genji, really? Okay.
Yeah, as an alternative. You dash in, dash out. You still do the same bubble cycles. But we'll see. Genji is not as comfortable for our team as previous. But we are going to be rolling out on the old D.Va, Cass, Sim, and we've got the BAP and Brig on the back line versus it looks like a classic ball comp with the...
And we've already got 2 off.
That is going to be unfortunate from our DPS there, getting caught out on the ledge. We just need to TP a little bit farther in on the point there to avoid that. And everybody loves playing against the ball comp. Really, really fun, not tilting at all.
Now, it will be interesting. I know that we already have Pringle on the Cassidy. I wonder if Rage is thinking in the back of his mind that he should maybe possibly go for Sombra if that ball gets too much.
The Sombra is a favorite of Rage's. I wouldn't actually be surprised. I know that it's not something that they've practiced. I don't know if they've got a lot of practice against a ball comp like this. And it looks like it's very clearly a comfortable comp for AKRON here. It looks like we're going for a very, very classic that you guys might recognize, just on a different style of comp. The classic Reinhardt just anchor point. That is going to be a pick from Pringle onto the enemy Tracer. Nick's getting traded out by that by those Wrecking Balls. The ball is just going to swing back and forth.
But then we have to trade 2 people for that, unfortunately.
And they are going to be able to keep the control of the point here. Otzel trying to get out. Might not be able to. Going to get DMAC'd. Probably going to get staggered. Just taking himself off the edge to reset here. Honestly, I don't know how the Sombra would feel. If we can get hacks off on the ball, we might be able to follow up against how we want to be playing this. It might be a little odd to run a Sombra because we are going to try to just sit on point with that Sim TP. And we are going to look for the... That's an unfortunate Pulse Bomb. You can see that we're trying to go for those TPs and trying to force them. But the mistake that we're making right now is we're going entirely through the same...
same corridor, same area.
Same corridor, same area every time. Taking the exact same TP. AKRON knows exactly where we're coming from, when we're coming for it, and we're just too telegraphed, and they can get these big plays out before we have even fully set up because they already know our play.
Yeah.
That was a Pulse Bomb. Did not feel good there.
That was a very impressive Pulse Bomb.
Yeah. It's just going to be difficult to deal with if we're not able to eat it or stop that Tracer with our Flashbang. I think this point should be a little bit more comfortable for us. Ball comp is just really difficult to play into because it relies on that speed. The Tracer, Genji, and Ball, they're just all coming from different angles. Very difficult to pin down somebody and communicate that they need to be dealt with because by the time you do that, they're gone.
Yep.
We are going to be picking up the Sombra and the Zarya. Going for a couple of comfort picks here. I know that Otzel is very comfortable on the Diva, but I think, honestly, the Zarya is probably going to be better.
I mean, we also just got Rage on the Sombra as well. He can switch over to that.
The Sombra is going to be an interesting pick. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. We'll see if it works with our strategy here. But that ball is going to be very annoying to deal with. And that's going to be a big pick out of Pringle onto the enemy Symmetra. As long as we're able to stack and stable here, we can just slow walk on that point. It's okay. We're good. Looking just to get any sort of pick. Rose getting targeted by 3 different flankers at the same time, but just managing to live. That ball is going to go down if he gets pressure. The enemy team did cap point, and Rage is hunting that ball. Pringle getting traded out by the enemy Tracer. We've just got to make something happen here. They're really respecting our bubbles and not giving us any charge. Tracer getting our Brig with that Pulse Bomb. Rose getting targeted in the back line. Not going to be enough peel because our bubbles are going down too quick. Able to just get traded out by the Tracer Ball combo. That's rough. We had a good opening, but we couldn't find any sort of follow-up to really keep walking there.
Now, it would be interesting to see that because they are playing ball. I wonder if our team is maybe thinking of going into a dive comp. I know there's not a lot of people that they can dive on right now. However, with that dive comp, you're able to get more maneuverability and maybe just outspeed the ball somewhere.
And that was a good flashbang from Pringle on that Tracer, but unfortunately we're playing the high ground against that ball, and he's able to just knock 3 of us off. And any time that we make a good play here, it just comes back to bite us because we're in a bad position, unfortunately. I wouldn't mind seeing a dive comp, something that, it's very similar to when you get an enemy Doomfist. It's very easy to think, oh, Doomfist, you go Orisa, Sombra, Cassidy, Brig, right? You go all these characters that counter Doomfist. A good Doomfist is not going to let you play like that. And is going to be able to play into his counters very well. So sometimes what you need to do is just go fast. Go your Tracers, go your Echo, go your Pharah. Something that can just stay away from him, that he just is never going to go on you. You give him no targets. And unfortunately, we're just getting full held in our spawn here. Not really much that
our team can do at the moment.
Our team comp can really do. If we're able to build up Grav, we might be able to catch some. But they're just simply too fast. We're not really able to catch much on the enemy team here. And it looks like map 1 is going to go to AKRON. Oh, we love ball. We love ball so much.
It's a very infuriating character to play against for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Reaper ban really messes with our our team comp. It's been our bread and butter for a while. That's a big pulse.
That was a very
big
huge pulse, yeah.
We got to remember that when we get pulse, we got to stand still. Got to just let our team walk away from us, because it looked like kind of the whole team kept going together.
Well, I think it's because they were going to try to teleport, but at the same time, we should have seen that if we knew that the Tracer might have had pulse, maybe playing a bit more spares from one another.
Yeah, playing a little bit more spread, coming just from a different angle, coming from main, coming from high ground. If we put the TP down in exactly the same point every time, makes it super, super, super easy to predict and land those kind of big plays that are that Tracer knew what they were going to do 10 seconds in advance. That wasn't a clutch pulse bomb that they just happened to hit crazy. No, that was good team play. They knew what they were doing. They knew what we were doing. Just unfortunately a bit of an outplay.
It was unfortunate, yeah.
But the speed that the enemy team is playing is something that I'm constantly bringing up. It's something that I've said in pretty much every game here, is that a lot of the teams that we're playing against just are so much faster with their mechanics and their decision making, and being able to change on the fly very easily. I think unfortunately what we suffer from a bit right now on EMU's team is that we have a plan and we're kind of married to it. And what happens is we don't have a lot of other team comps that are super well scrimmed and that we kind of know front and back, like our Zarya Reaper comp. And when the tournament is best 3 out of 5, and they get a ban every map, they can ban Reaper. They're going to end up banning Zarya. We're not going to be able to play our combo that requires those two characters, and then we're down before we can even start trying to build up momentum. We're 0-2, and so it's difficult running these same comps all the time if the enemy team does scout us. It looks like we are, to nobody's surprise, going to King's Row. We are going to be banning that ball character. Thank God. I do not want to see that hamster on my screen. Get him out of here. There's a reason I banned that man. And we are they are going to go for the Ana ban, which is
an interesting ban.
An interesting ban. Not something that we typically play, so shouldn't really play into our decision making too much. But I'm interested to know what they are going for. I'm a little...
You scared about Malga?
No, I'm not scared about Malga. I'm scared about Hog.
Oh, that would... I mean, I could definitely see them coming out with that.
It's real difficult to deal with a Hog if there is no Ana. You can still do it, but it requires a lot more coordination, very, very sharp positioning to be able to avoid that hook and not just get one-shotted. If he hits that hook, you're cooked. If we do end up seeing a enemy Hog, it's going to be on Otzel a lot to deal with those hooks, because our team is going to get hooked. It's going to happen at some point in the game. And it's either going to be a bubble coming out, or it's going to be a defense matrix, or some sort of shield. It's hard to hit a shield in between a Hog and his target. Or it could end up being on Rose. Rose throwing a very, very carefully timed Suzu to get that damage immortality, or just an immortality field from Baptiste. Playing around that. And it is the Malga. Asteroid was correct. I see a Malga and a pocketed Sojourn. I'm not a fan of that.
Maybe not.
Or maybe we see double sniper. We'll see what happens here. But here we are on the classic Reaper Czar. We should be able to play our bread and butter here. Should be a little bit better. We are starting on the old defense. And it looks like there's a little bit of a light healing comp on AKRON's team, but that is going to be a lot of damage.
I can see that Alara definitely delivering easily 5k worth of damage.
And almost a full team swap right as the beginning here. And the bubble coming out, Rage going in, but unfortunately getting traded out immediately because that bubble took all the damage in the world as soon as it exploded. and that's just going to be a lot of pressure coming out of that Mauga onto our entire enemy team. But the Mauga is also going to be taking a lot of pressure. We might be able to trade out that Mauga if we are appropriately focusing him down. He's just going to be swallowing up those heals from that Baptiste and from that Iari, though. And it looks like it might just be first point for AKRON, but that was just a you know, first TP of the map. Mauga taking out our Pringle on the Cassidy,
Ooh.
trading out Rage as well. This is what Mauga really excels at, is just running it down. You really just run it down. A lot of damage coming out, and it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I will say, I believe that as of right now, our team needs what they need to do is focus all of their attention on Rage if possible. However, he can't be teleporting into their backline like that or straight into their enemy team. He needs to be picking those corners and then taking the bubbles with opportunity when needed.
The macro that we're going for relies on those backline TPs, and we get the bubble as we go in the backline, which takes space from the enemy tank. See, we can make the Mauga run back like this. But we just need to be very, very careful, because as soon as we do that, we know that all eyes are on us, on our Reaper, and we need to be able to fade out. And that fade is what's going to be important. What happened on the first TP that we saw on first point was simply Rage was just too slow on the TP, and he got punished for it, and we ended up losing point. And the enemy Sojourn is going to take out Otzel. The overclock coming out, Rage just trying to delay point any way that he can, but unfortunately with no tank, there's not much of an opportunity to fight back on that point. And we are going to get pushed back into our spawn by that Mauga and that Sojourn, taking out Rose as a fadeaway before the EMU is able to get back into spawns.
I'm not sure why they use that.
The enemy Reaper in our spawn fading out, just holding a lot of space here. As EMU is building up ults, we do see our rush and our beat mirrored by their Reaper guy ult and the old cage. We'll see what comes out of him this time. But I'm expecting probably at least one Reaper ult.
Oh, here might come the Reaper ult from us at least. Maybe no. Oh, not.
That's going to be a big rush out of Rose, canceling that Mauga cage. But the Reaper does find two on Rose and Otzel. A little Reaper trade there. We're just going to need to stay alive. Unfortunately, we do get picked out. Otzel trying to come out on point, but unfortunately not going to be able, just barely able to touch, but burning both bubbles to get there. Nyx and Rose just trying to delay anything they can on the point, but getting traded out. Rage
with a big hit, but it unfortunately won't be enough to get back on the point.
And it's going to take out both the Immortality and the Pylon there, but unfortunately not going to be enough to get them all off of point. It's difficult to deal with a Mauga like that. That is just running it down when he's got the support that he needs, or if we're just not dealing enough damage to him. He can just keep going, and he can be from that damage reduction and from his own self-healing. He doesn't need a lot of support if he's not taking that pressure. Mauga just existing in general puts so much pressure just on anything that he can see. And when you end up in a Mauga mirror, what ends up happening is both teams are just putting absolutely everything they can, and they're focusing in on that pressure on one little point. And it's whichever Mauga, it's not even a Mauga diff at that point. The Mauga is just a channel.
It's just whatever team can give more support into their Mauga. It was like when Overwatch was first released.
Yeah, whoever could just keep their tank up longer would win, and it's just a pressure battle, and that's a lot of pressure coming out of AKRON. I mean, Mauga, Reaper, Baptiste, not even talking about Wooyoung. I don't like that character. Like, please reduce his damage.
Too much damage for you?
It's not okay. 100 damage on a direct hit. No, go away.
Now, I will say it would be interesting to see if Otzel ever does consider changing to an Orisa. I know we won't be able to do bubbles by then, but we will able to deal with the Mauga a bit.
we would be able to deal with the Mauga a little bit, but unfortunately, I think it's just not going to be enough. And it kind of goes against the philosophy of what we are trying to do here. The Reaper TPs into the back line. I think we really just need to be running down that Mauga if we're not able to catch anybody else. Just getting that Mauga to charge backwards, catch him in the back, find any sort of way that we can alleviate pressure on Otzel, because while we do have bubbles, they pop pretty quickly against a Mauga, and if he's counting, he knows exactly when to stomp on Otzel. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out onto those bubbles. Maybe catching that Reaper as he fades out, and it's going to be a trade out. Otzel catching that Reaper. It was a great play. If we can just swing and slowly walk on that Mauga, he should die. Rage going for a TP on the back line, but unfortunately Otzel is going to get taken out. We are just a little too spread right now, looking at different targets. Big pick on that Tracer. We have no Otzel right now, but we do have a numbers advantage. Oh, screwing up the TP just a little bit, not able to get on that high ground. Pringle trying to take that high ground. We might be able to do something with it. If we can just keep developing these angles, that's a very strong position to have a Sojourn in. Rage taking out the enemy Baptiste, but getting traded out. And you know what? I'll trade a Reaper for Baptiste any day of the week. We have the enemy Mauga engaging on us. Both support ults coming out of both teams. That rush, the pulse bomb, unfortunately getting both Pringle and Otzel. The Tracer dropping a 4K on us. That Wuyong ult coming out on a charging Mauga. Difficult to deal with. Can't really do anything about that Mauga in charge, and he's just going to deliver it right into the core of our team. Ooh, knocking us down. Does not feel great. And it looks like we are going to be going into next fight here. We've got our grab, we've got our beat, we've got our Reaper ult. If we can find something, just engaging with that.
Baptiste out. Now, if we focus all of us onto the tank right here, this might be the end for this.
If we're able to take out that Mauga, draining out the Reaper ult to kill that Mauga, we are losing our team here. Unfortunately, dealing with that Tracer is taking a little bit too much of our time. We really just got to kill that Mauga fast, because if we don't put everything that we can into that Mauga and just guarantee a kill, it's going to mean that anything that we put in the Mauga basically just got thrown in a pit.
Yes, unfortunately.
So you got to throw enough at him that he dies, and honestly, I'd rather overcommit to killing a Mauga.
It seems like we're switching to a different comp here.
Looking for a full swap. I'm expecting...
All right, dive.
We're going for the old Korean Winston swap. Bold move to do a full team swap on last fight like this. We do see 5 ults coming up on the board, just a little behind on that Wuyong ult. I'm unfortunately expecting to just find 5 ults coming out of AKRON, with EMU unfortunately not able to respond to anything. That is going to be Rage and Otzel traded out, getting caught in the low ground here. Pringle soon to follow, getting hit by that just stupid amount of damage from Wuyong. And it looks like only 1 ult has come out of AKRON, trading out the rest of our team. And the Wuyong ult does come out onto the Mauga. Otzel trying to take point, but not able to against that Reaper. Unfortunately, that is going to be map 2 for AKRON. I like the idea of a comp swap, especially because we're not able to make any sort of space with it. We're having a really difficult time just developing angles and finding any sort of picks. That I think a comp swap is appropriate, but it just is a little too late. We need to be able to comp swap early enough that we can build up our ults and have a real team fight. Because if we comp swap last 30 seconds, at that point we don't really have much to lose. We are very likely going to lose the next fight if we stay on the same comp. But now we kind of know that we're going to lose because they've got 5 ults and we have nothing. We would really need to do that just earlier. Just make that call earlier.
Definitely earlier.
I'm glad to see that there's calls being made to just do something. Do something to shake it up. Just beating in with our Lucio ult. maybe not the greatest play, but hey, it's a play. Hey, it's a game plan. It's something that we can try to do. That's different than just sitting in choke and trying to get a pick before we go in. Something different, something to mix it up. I honestly wouldn't have minded like a Malga duel.
I was thinking a Malga duel.
Or like the Orisa you said, I know it's something that Otzel is quite comfortable with, so I don't think it would have been uncomfortable for Otzel. Knocking out that Malga would do a lot, but I don't think it's the only problem that we had on that team. I think really the problem that we had on the team was that Tracer.
It was I believe it's the Tracer and the Reaper. Both of their DPS can go into our backline very easily and get out. And unfortunately, I don't think we are either turning around quick enough to deal with them, or just our team is not giving each other enough support.
Yep, it can very much happen that the Tracer or the Reaper TPs in the backline, flanks around, gets in, and before any cooldowns can come out, our Baptiste gets 100 to 0'd. Our Lucio gets 100 to 0'd. Our Cassidy gets 100 to 0'd. If we're not kind of watching and marking those angles, we need to know where they're coming from, when they're coming from those angles, and be able to deal with them preemptively rather than reactionary. Because if we're waiting for the Reaper to engage before we turn around and send a bubble back there, it's really quick, but it does take time for even the best players in the world to turn around, aim, and activate a cooldown. And in some cases, the cooldown itself has a travel time. Like if Rose is on the front line supporting Otzel, here's Nyx asking for help, turns around to throw Suzu. That Suzu's pretty slow. And if you're not ready and waiting for it, and sometimes if I'm playing Kiri, I'll throw a Suzu before anybody's taken any damage. You see this, the Suzu needs to be timed appropriately, that it is there when it needs to be there, not when you don't throw it when they need it. You throw it so that it's there when they need it.
Exactly. Yep.
Which is a very subtle difference in timing, but at these high-level scrims, that subtle difference in timing is everything. That's when the game takes place, is in those like couple hundred milliseconds. And it's rough. It's really rough to try to get that timing down and be able to see into the future by half a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, because you're simultaneously trying to see what are they going to do in the next 30 seconds to a minute with their ults, what is their kind of meta game here, and what is their immediate action. Where do I think this guy is going to go in the next half a second, so I can lead my shot, so I can out-predict his cooldown, what am I going to block his Sigma Rock, whatever it is. Looks like we are going to mix up our team comp a little bit with the old Torb and D.Va. We have banned the Tracer, and they have banned the Zarya on this wonderful Rialto map. I don't mind the Tracer ban, but it does mean that they are back on the ball. And with the Torb pick, I don't really mind. I think the Torb pick can be quite good into ball. But we'll have to see what kind of ball comp they're running here with a Sojourn and a Symmetra. We are stacking kind of hard here on the high ground. Otzel trying to force out that Kiri. We are really stacking very hard on this high ground. We got to spread out and take some angles, because if that ball slams, he's going to deal 125 damage to each of us, and that Sojourn is just going to be able to take us out immediately after from some good follow-up. We are going to get TP'd on, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to sustain it with a D.Va, because that D.Va is going to not be able to block any of that sim damage. And we've got to drop to be able to touch the point. Not able to find any picks on that on the Kiri here. Otzel just trying to do anything that he can to live on point. Taking some stable positions here, playing around the corner. We do have our rush. We think we just got to make a play. Nyx and Rage getting traded out, but we do have rush. Is it going to be enough? That sim does go down. Okay. And the ball is a good target, but has about 1,000 health.
It does have too much health.
Is Otzel going to be able to get off? Mackie is not, and it looks like we are going to get traded out. and Nyx is going to be found, and it looks like Rage may end up on Staggered as well. That's rough. We got into a bit of a good position here, but we never really made any plays to fight back on that once they got under those arches for first point cap. You know, most of first point, we would just kind of let them
Oh, and that was a really bad pick.
An unfortunate pick in the neutral against both Nyx and Rose. That's a surprising amount of poke coming out of the enemy team with a ball and a Symmetra.
However, they do have that Wu Yang, so that gives them a lot of a lot of distance still too.
I mean, his stupid primary. We are really just playing all the way back, kind of giving them all the space that they could ever ask for. This ball waiting for us, suspending in the air like a Doomfist. That's going to be a big pick from Nyx on that Sojourn. The ball coming out, followed by the beat. Rage getting traded out, Boo the Wuyong. The rush coming out of AKRON, going to maybe clean up that fight. That Wuyong getting traded out by Rose. It's kind of anybody's fight now. We do need to be fighting on point here because they're going to get that cap. Unfortunately
got that.
We were putting up a good fight, but unfortunately just in the wrong spot. And it doesn't matter how much we win the fight if the fight is just in the wrong place. Good on Otzel for not using the bomb there. No, it's tempting, but in a fight like that, no point in using it and just staggering yourself.
Agreed.
Just save it for the next fight. Rage, unfortunately, getting traded out by that Sojourn. We got a little peek at that ball's levels. Definitely a ball player. Level 104 on ball. Yeah, you're a creature, buddy. You're a creature. Not a fan of ball players. But we'll see if we can do.
It'll be interesting to see how Otzel will get out his Diva Bomb here, because they are kind of grouped up here in the center. However, they did just wall here.
Yep, and Pringle is going to get traded out by that slam. That wall is going to split our team in half, and with 3 of our team going down here, it's just not going to be enough for us to sustain. Nyx trying anything to sustain on the point, but getting traded out, and it looks like that is going to be a full cap with almost 4 minutes on the clock for AKRON. That's, I mean, against a ball player, it's something that people even at the highest levels can struggle with, and a ball right now is, I don't see a lot of people complaining about him as much, but I think is actually very strong in high elos and with high skilled players right now, because he just kind of lives forever, and there's not a lot of what you would traditionally do against a ball. He can just sustain through. You know, you usually, you flashbang him, you hack him, but with his shields these days, he can just sustain through so much of it.
It is quite astounding how much he can just stay on thrower.
It's really, really annoying because you can throw everything you can at that ball, and then he just rolls away, grabs 8 mega packs, and just lives. It's awful.
Now, I would say what would be an interesting take for our team is if we win. Now, hear me out. Orisa, Junkrat, and Sombra. Junkrat mainly just for that trap, because I don't know how good that ball is at spying those traps. But if we're able to put them around a corner that he might turn on, trapping him and then targeting him would do us a number.
It's something that we could explore. Honestly, if we were going to run some kind of off-meta picks, I wouldn't mind seeing the Sombra come back out, because I imagine that a ball player at this level is probably pretty familiar with being able to deal with those traps. And honestly, even with a trap, sometimes it feels like his health lasts long enough that it doesn't really matter. Trying to go for the boop here, and we're looking at a pretty small stream right now. So if we could get it a little full screen here, broadcast. There we go. But it looks like EMU has opted to go for some new characters. The ball committing suicide off that map by accident. You know what? We take those. Spotting the Sojourn on the off angle. Are we going to be able to punish them? Trying to live over here. If we can get on that. A big pick coming out of Rage on that enemy Wuyong. With the ball not here, the enemy team loses a lot of pressure. Otzel is going to get demacked for the aggression, but the ball is going to be back. Looking at our backline, and Otzel is just going to need to die to be able to reset, get that mech back. We are making progress here, but getting traded out as we are missing our tank. That ball is very low health. Are we able to finish him off? It's not going to be enough. Rage getting traded out by our enemy Sojourn here. Against two flyers, the Pharah and the Freya. Sojourn can be a little bit more difficult, but those right clicks can be very devastating.
Now we're going to a full team swap of a possible dive here.
Full team swap onto the Genji, Sojourn, and the Monkey. You know what? I'm a fan of it. Just making anything that we can work. Just if something isn't working, let's try something else. Like I said before, we are going to need to build up those ultimates again. Going for a full rotation, we are going to have Rush here because Rose is the only one that did not swap here. And that's a lot of damage coming out of that ball's boop in that hallway. We're just spending a little too much time stacked, but Pringle is able to swap, trade out that Ana before going down, and unfortunately the ball is able to catch us in a corner and melt us down with some headshots. A lot of damage, a lot of presence from that ball. Difficult to find off angles without getting dealt with by that ball. It looks like AKRON is going to have 4 ults on the board, only answered by our Rush. We'll see if maybe we can make this the biggest rush in the world. But I'm unfortunately thinking that wall and those mines may be enough to deal with it. And unfortunately, Pringle is going to get traded out, taking a little too long on the old rotation there. It's going to be his last 60 seconds of the map here. Nick's getting traded out by that Sojourn, spending a little too much time peeking instead of us resetting to be able to get with Pringle. But Otzel is able to get that Ayari, but we do trade out 3 other of our teammates for it. And Nyx and Otzel are just going to need to reset in point here. We are looking at 5 ults on AKRON's team, still only answered by our Rush. We
do have Blade coming up, though.
We've got Blade soon. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to build it in the next couple seconds here against a Nano Sojourn's ult. That's going to be a lot of damage.
How Sojourn's gotten any picks yet?
Able to avoid the Nano Sojourn, but the slam just makes the movement too predictable, trading out most of our team, our entire team, just for that Sojourn, and that is going to be map 3, and that is going to be game for AKRON, unfortunately. That was rough. Playing into a ball, just it always feels worse than losing against pretty much any other character. And of course, their Sojourn was named Sweaty.
Yeah,
we know what kind of players we're against.
Out loud, so
just very high skill players on AKRON's team. I mean, you can see in the mechanics alone, very difficult for us to deal with appropriately. And that ball's presence he just had so much presence.
Yeah, it is up in the higher tiers for sure. He can get a lot of presence if we're not either focusing him down, or I'm not saying like forgetting him, or just like trying to move away to his back line.
Yeah,
staying as a tight group team because they didn't have a choice at that round.
Yeah,
so it would have been a bit better to stay formal and then to get into their back line. Someone who can't move as much. Yeah, there's kind of two schools of thought that you can do with a ball, and you really just need your team to kind of full commit on one or full commit on the other, and that's to either ignore him and make sure that your team can't be gotten by that ball. So you go your Pharahs, your Tracers, your Lucio, anybody that can get away with and not have to deal with the ball's aggression, or you can full counter him and just make sure that when he does engage, he blows up, because he does have to physically hit you to be able to do damage most of the time. So you can go your Brig, your Cassidy, your Orisa, your Queen, be able to pull him back in. Something that can disrupt his movement, make him an easier target, because when he's standing still, he's a big target.
But like I said, he's got literally 1,000 health. It's like trying to kill a primal every 10 seconds. If you don't have that just super high burst damage, be able to stun him in place for 8 years so that he dies, very difficult. So I wouldn't mind seeing the team comp that we did end up rolling out at the end here. Something like a Monkey, Genji, Sojourn that should be able to deal with it, but our positioning needs to line up with our team comp. What we see is our team moving in a unfortunately slow mass, which means that the enemy team is able to see where we're going. They see where we are. They see where we're going. See how quickly we're getting there. We can never really catch them off guard because they see us and they know our plan from our body language, essentially, before we can fully enact it. So they can take the angles that we want. We are never splitting off onto angles, which is also difficult to do against a ball because the ball can just go contest that angle. But we've got to do something. Standing in a hallway with a ball that can just come and knock everybody down twice.
It doesn't feel nice.
It does not feel good. And when he's hitting everybody on your team for 50 damage into a Sojourn field, there's not much that you can do. That by itself requires Lucio to drop beat just to sustain. But it can all be prevented if we are positioning appropriately, trying to take proper angles. There's a lot going on to be able to deal with a ball. That all just needs to be so well rehearsed, so well practiced. Somebody that, like I said, I ban personally because I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with a ball player. Just difficult. Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule. See when we get to see some more Overwatch. Because even if it's a rough game, it's still Overwatch. We still love it. Love our team. You just saw Akron versus Eastern Michigan. And we are going to be back tomorrow, back-to-back streams against Buffalo. And then because you got more Overwatch streams, you got to give it back to Rocket League. Rocket League on the 6th, 8th, and then the 8th again. A nice long Rocket League stream for you there. Versus Ohio, Miami, and Akron. It's the best place to watch video games, honestly.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's what you're here for. You're here for Winston. You're here for Winston.
And finally, Winston.
Winston's here. You get to see Asteroid. Apparently, I just pulled him out of the ground like a carrot.
I know.
That's where Asteroid came from.
I grew here, so
yeah. It just. But that is going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for tuning into stream for another wonderful Overwatch game. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.